Hi, I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel, New Beginnings, my everyday life in rural Cyprus.
You're chilling when the rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give.
We have all the pomelos together. As you can see, many more have come up, so I've separated them. The sweet corn that I started in pots has already been planted out and growing very quickly. And a lot of randomness in the bulbs. This has got some peppers, some onions, some red lettuce, and it's my asparagus bed, but I always throw the odd few things in here as well. So you leave it to seed to get more and more each year. Just taking a few. And within this other bath I've planted a lady's finger, or okra, as some of you call it, because the back of this bath is covered by a wall, but we will see any plants growing above the bath, so this will be a pretty area here. And as you know, I like to try things in different areas at the same time, so this is a bed of a few leeks, so just comparing how they grow in different areas. This is directly into some soil. I have two rabbit cages where I put seedlings. This one I did put all the melons and watermelons and yellow melons that were due to be planted out. once I move them from the indoor greenhouse to let them harden off a bit outside. This, as you can see, is now completely empty. But the other one, I've left containers, my bags that I filled with my own compost, and these are going to be a permanent fixture. Mostly the red lettuce, which I take as I need it. We've already taken quite a lot of the lettuce leaves to eat. So you can see things grow really well in here. And there's also some peppers growing in here. Again, I've taken them out once they've got too tall for in here. So I've just transplanted most of those. As you can see, lots of the red lettuce. I have started cabbage in both the toilet roll holders and the old fridge or freezer vegetable drawer that I use for all new seedlings. And it looks like the first few might be trying to appear. The trough that I use for many starters, all the yellow melons I think you saw last in here, obviously they've all been transplanted, and in between those I grew some tomatoes and some lettuce, and the tomatoes have been transplanted out now, and more red lettuce. This is now on what I call my cold frame. I think it was an old original greenhouse frame. I just use it as a stand. We had to put the wire on to make shelves. There was nothing there. So here you can see any of the last pots from the indoor greenhouse. This is all I have left. And the two old toolboxes that I started to grow leeks in. The basket here that I salvaged that I've got chives growing in. They're coming up nicely. And this was something I salvaged. I was going to paint it all up, but I thought I'd just stick some more chives in for now. I've only just sown those, so they're not coming up yet. Again, a few more odd pots that look like things haven't grown in them, but I always leave them a little while because sometimes you get some very late starters, some different varieties of tomatoes other than what I normally have. And I'm growing lavender in this salvage basket. These are all my original pots that I grow for anyone who wants them. Mostly all I've got left now are olives, and there's some oleander left from my filming experiment. So check that out of how to grow oleander. So if anyone wants some of that, there's plenty of that starting here. This I am keeping, it's my nut tree, so I won't be giving that one away. And there's some figs growing within it. Figs are so easy to grow, can't stop them growing up. And olives, figs and olives, probably the two easiest things to grow. And I noticed there's a red lettuce in there, so obviously a seed has blown into that pot. So someone who takes that olive can have a free lettuce as well. Underneath the cold frame I've just got any cups with soil in, with nothing growing. So if I quickly find something I want to put in, a cutting or something, and some pots the same. And here I've started growing in the bottom of an old suitcase that Mike salvaged for me. How many husbands bring you home a old suitcase for you instead of chocolates and flowers? So this side I've put cauliflower. So I'll see if that works in there. There's no soil at all in there. That is just a little bit of manure and straw, because I have got no soil left, because the last of any compost that I made, when I say soil, there's never been any soil on this land. It's all been compost that I made myself. So in this side, these are the tomato plants I transplanted from that black trough. Again, a different variety from my normal. And a few more fig trees if anybody wants some fig trees. That's in Cyprus. you're very welcome to come and collect them. These are the orange trumpet plant that I actually wanted dug out. I'll show you. It's where I put that little fruit tree I was growing. These will grow over the arch. I have loads of them growing over the arch. So I took away the plant and there were lots of little side shoots which look have taken really well. So I've got 3 of these now, 3 pots. So these are good climbers. I will find somewhere else for those. Some different rock rows. They finish really for the year now, but I'll keep them in these pots because they will come up again next year. And here are some more plants that I've grown. I notice there's some pomelo in there. We're in the apple orchard area now. Oh, I'm so obsessed with these red lettuce. We can't get enough of them. We eat some of this nearly every day. I made a prepper's pizza yesterday with no yeast, my own recipe, which you can see a link. And I even had some of this with that, which was very nice. The reason there's so many red lettuce as well is because it was the first seed, new seed I could sow that I was donated. So I just put it everywhere. Then we can see the next dustbin sunk into the ground. Here's some onions and again a few odd red lettuce because I had to spread them out. The next one is some of the peppers. There's about 5 in there. Past a beautiful pomegranate tree. All the trees in this area I'm keeping quite small. And then some peppers here. These are getting very big. Gives you a bit of an idea how tall these are. I did put milk bottles over these just to start with because in this area every time I planted a few out they were gone the next morning. So I think it's snails maybe, but they were completely gone. So I actually put milk bottles over the top of them to let them get a little bit bigger, and since then they're fine. I don't put the bottles out now, but I've left the canes in, our own bamboos where we grow the bamboo on our land, and I've left them in just to give them support. And then next one, these aren't as tall. These were obviously another batch. That's an old tyre. And then again another sunken dustbin. They were clean dustbins, they weren't rubbish dustbins. They're ones our friend gave us. They brought them over from England because they didn't know if you could buy dustbins here, but we don't have dustbins like this in Cyprus. We have those big things where you lift the lid off, like recycling type bins. We don't have standard English dustbins, though I know you have different sorts of bins there now anyway. But these are doing very well. And that one's gone a bit flopsy. Needs a bit of support, might tie him up. And the last pot in this area has always been my Mexican chilies, and I threw in some peppers here. I've transplanted most of those out. And then the Ruth Stout bed here. I'm amazed how quickly this has decomposed because after growing the potatoes I completely got rid of all the soil elsewhere. I say soil, you know, I mean my own compost. So I got rid of that elsewhere because the bed I'd grown the potatoes in had broken down so well that it was literally a compost bed from my Frugal / Ruth Stout method. And so here I've planted out the kohlrabi. And I've also thrown some seeds of it directly in because I didn't grow very many of them till I knew what I was going to do with them and how they grow. I've never grown these before. These are the red ones this side, And you'll see I've put a line there, and I'm doing white ones on this side. But look how well this has broken down. This looks like actual soil, but this is purely broken down from just the straw prior to taking the top layer of grass off that we mowed, and this had all broken down underneath. This is very good. I can't recommend Frugal beds the most. There's a tiny bit of wood at the bottom of this, so technically it's not roof stout because that should be only straw, but other than that there is nothing else. Look how it's broken down. So that's this area. So that would be all kohlrabi, because you can't plant kohlrabi anywhere near any of the brassicas, which are the broccoli and things like that. And as you know, I've got broccoli literally in beds everywhere. And the last area I'm showing you today is my tyres. So we have peppers there. Again, some more normal peppers planted here, and you'll see how I do the milk bottles on top, why they're so small. Garlic's not done so well today, but as they say, you get certain years when suddenly something you grow well just doesn't happen. It's what they call the rest years. And then all the tomatoes I've been growing that I've put in the cat bags. I have other areas, as you know. I have my Frugal beds, which you will see everything in my Frugal beds and roof stout beds in completely separate videos. So if you want to see what else I've planted out there, check that series out. And I also have a separate series on what's happening with my raised beds, so check that out because there's so much to show you. I've got too much garden. So always the Frugal beds and roof stout beds are in one video series, and the raised beds are in another series. So this is how tall these are getting. These are very decent. There are flowers on some, and also I have tomatoes starting on some as well. I think they were a little slower to grow this year. Might just be because I had other things growing. And again, this is peppers. And then the trough is some more of the red lettuce, and also I've put some chives in there. The toilet cistern, when you plant directly into it, it does dry out these ceramic-y ones. So really these are probably better to put the cat bags in. But this is last year's tomato plant. So these have already got tomatoes on. And then cat bags in the rest of the cisterns with tomatoes. These ones are cherry tomatoes and plum tomatoes. Again, really well growing. Don't forget to go between the stems, where the stem comes out here from the top growth, and if there's a new growth growing between, prick it out. I just did them all yesterday, so I can't show you. And then these ones in this goat feeder, which I do like. These are all my new tomato varieties that I got gifted the seeds for, so I keep these separate. And these are coming up very nicely. So to see more of what's growing in my garden and how other things are coming along, check out either my playlist for specific types of videos or look at my growing videos. I also show you recipes using these. These are called fake oranges, and I explain why in my recipe, and loads more recipes besides with produce from my garden. Until next time, Meraki.